You were talking earlier about the studio, how you kind of work with to do a virtual presentation. And I took a couple minutes because Jordan asked me, he's like, do you still have those photos of like when we basically turn a room into a studio in like 15 minutes? And I just wanted to comment on the absolute chaos that Jordan and I go through to make a room look presentable that you have like pre-ready to go that you can walk in and broadcast from. And Jordan and I spend like an hour. There's wires everywhere. We're running power from different rooms and there's Ethernet cables running everywhere. And it's just different ways to approach it. But I just want to comment that like a lot of effort really goes into that, especially with where you're at now, because that room is like purpose built for this. And I think that's like, it's good to note that too.
I like the color of the background, right? Because mine looks a little washed out. I've changed lighting in my room, but your color of that wall being dark really helps, right? Gives good contrast.
Yeah, paint that wall, Joffer.
And also the lighting. You know, Jason kind of completely changed my life with setting up proper lighting, where I have two coming this way, and then I have another two kind of over there, and then I have a kicker behind me. I think that's cool. The other thing that's nice about it is when you have a room that's dedicated to this, when you go into that room, you're in presenting mode. And if I go upstairs and I work in my office, that's a different kind of feel from everything. So I think having that set up is really good. I'm hoping, Kent, when we move to the new building for the Ascent Innovation Center, that we can actually hopefully get a room that we can set up as a dedicated studio, much like this one.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
I really have to say that having a standing situation, a standing desk when you're presenting is the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Because when you're not live with people, being able to actually move still is important. You got to get air into your lungs. You got to, you've got to be able to speak. And I have to stand up when I taught at the beginning of August. I had to stand up for all the lecture sequence because I couldn't get my right vibe going. I couldn't get my right, intonation and presentation mode going.
Well, and a lot of what I'm doing now is, and I don't do it when I do an hour presentation, when I'm training, I'll shut off my camera and I'll like just throw on, just be the mic. And then I'll like walk and get a drink of water or get some coffee or something and then come back and then turn that camera on. For some reason, just getting out of the room and kind of moving around, it helps kind of reinvigorate rather than being in one place, because I don't think that we have a way that we can do a virtual training that has the same feel of like moving around the room and engaging with the room yet.
That's right. That's why I got the lapel mic. For that exact reason.
Yeah, lapel mics are absolutely cool. We got these Sony ones.
When I'm training, I don't use this. This is podcasting, right? But when I'm training, I will always use the lapel mic so I can walk around.
Yeah, that's been big. So I remember when we would, present, and Jason said, no, you got to get closer to the microphone. You got to get further away from the microphone. And lapels allowed us to kind of comfortably move because we wanted to. And being stuck to like right here kind of drowns out and it prevents us from being able to use that communication skill with our body language. Whereas with this lapels, we can kind of walk around.
Yeah, lapel is cool.
Well, Ken, if you and Jordan or anybody wants to get set up with a Scarlett 2x2 and like the Sony wireless mic, it's super easy to plug into it. And it's small. It's like 2 packs this big. Just let me know. I mean, we're happy to expense that in.
The Scarlett box is the way to go too. That's a really nice box. Yeah. That's what I got here. Well, I got like a compressor gate and all kinds of shit.
Radis brought up, are lapels better than headsets? And I'm going to say yes. Like, absolutely. Whenever you're presenting like this, they absolutely are, because headsets look uncomfortable. I know it's cool for like Twitch streamers and stuff. Whenever you're presenting and trying to train, it's a little bit more difficult.
So be ready for the mute button for when.
I can't stand a headset because of the heat. I can't wear that shit over my ears.
Oh, right. Especially if it's warm in your house.
Be ready on the mute button for when the mailman delivers the mail in the middle of the day and your dog wants to bark.
I have that. Dog goes nuts. Something. Yeah.
So I found that so we've got for our presentation now we use an Inear monitor and a lapel mic, and that way like CJ can be talking to us that's not on the stream, and Jordan and I can be doing the presentation. So, people can kind of like tell us things at the same time and not be on the broadcast, and that's really helped us too. So that's kind of why we'd all just keep up on communication. And like this last class we did, Brad was in the other room and he could talk to us, either through Discord or through voice, and it wouldn't be on the webcast, but we could hear him. And that's been helpful too.
I'd find the in-ear a bit disconcerting, but I get that.
It helps us drown out a lot of the office noise too, because the lapels won't pick up the office noise, but it's there if it's in open air. So they kind of help us focus a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the in-ear monitors, there's some really comfortable ones out there, but I have yet to find one that's comfortable for 8 hours. I just don't think that we were meant to wear in-ear monitors that long.
I agree. I keep studio monitors on my desk. But
so, Joff, has SANS ever tried to get you to present with the Countryman, the one that comes down on your face?
No, and I wouldn't. It would drive me nuts.
They're so bad.
Yeah.
They're so bad. I remember I was at a conference once, and like Eric Cole hated it so much, he took it off and threw it across the room. And he didn't know that it was like a $700 microphone. But they're just I remember it was like the first time I did it, it was rubbing raw behind my ear and I was bleeding and blood was coming down. Like there's been a couple of times I've bled at SANS conferences, but yeah, blood was dripping down my neck and on my shirt. And SANS was telling me, no, you got to use this. We got to get the good recording. We got to get the recording. And then when the blood started happening, they're like, okay, we're going to get you a good like chest mic, a lapel. And that's when we got these Sonys with a good condenser. And they work really well.
Those things remind me of like the trade shows where you've got a guy that's like using knives to chop stuff up really fast, and he's like, yeah, and it's on his little personal PA.
I got this is actually a Shure Sennheiser, a Shure lapel. But what a lot of people forget about with lapels is they tend to want to attach them right here at the neck, and that's a mistake. Yep. That's a mistake. You got to get them down near your sternum, and they work much better.
Yeah,
because they tend to pick up that chest voice,
Yeah, like mine, I've always got it. It's 2 fingers above nipple is where this one needs to be. If I go any lower, it starts to get too quiet. If I go higher, it gets nasally. So
my problem is if I'm wearing a t-shirt and then I stretch like this, I invariably pop the lapel off the t-shirt.
Yeah. So another question was fully wired mics or wireless mics. Go with a good wireless. So the one that I'm using is a Sony URX P03. And this is the receiver for it. So it's really small and it's portable. And it drops into an XLR cable into a Focusrite Scarlett 2x2. And then that goes into my computer. So like the ones that you get that are USB are garbage. Oh. So don't use those at all.
No, you got to use proper audio gear. You don't want to USB. Yeah, forget about it. That Scarlett 2x2, good interface box, right?
Well, and the other thing is USB at its heart is radio technology. And you're using a radio with radio technology, and it picks up all kinds of interference. And doing this and converting it to XLR and sending it through a box that's a pro audio box that's relatively inexpensive is just really the way to go. So,
like I'm doing right now, and I sound like $1 million.
So Izzard the Wizard said, has anyone taken a shot of alcohol before a presentation? Yes, and that doesn't work. Even one shot, unless you're an alcoholic, will actually cloud your ability to think, and it'll make your tongue swell a little bit. And even just slurring your speech slightly at the rate that you're speaking, people can pick it up. Like you're like, oh, I won't get drunk on a shot. You won't, but it's going to impact you and impair you enough that people will tell. So one of the tricks that I do, if you absolutely have to get through a presentation and like you've lost your voice, you can gargle vodka or whiskey or any hard alcohol, and that'll clear your voice up instantly for about 10 minutes. And I used to do that a lot, where I would like gargle and then I'd spit it back out, which is horrible, but it worked. But I'd had students that are just like freaking out that I was drinking during the presentation. So the question was, it's a URX P03 is what I use. So, well, should we shut this down, everybody?
Yeah, that other thing about drinking is dehydration effect. People don't realize.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yes. Oh, Yeah.
Yeah. You don't
Good way to
realize
go to
it.
bed with a hell of a headache.
Well, and also if you talk for a long time and you've been drinking, dehydration is going to kill you. Like literally, you're going to be hurting so bad.
Yeah. Now, the other thing about losing your voice, a lot of people don't know, is when you start to lose your voice, a lot of times it's tension in the back of your neck. So what you can do is sometimes also massage the back of your neck, and that'll help kind of loosen things up.
Or go to John, he'll give you one.
Yeah,
That's a little frightening.
a little bit. All right, everybody. Speaking of which, it's lunchtime. Let's get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out to the after party. Now we're heading to the hotel lobby. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I am ending the webinar.
Excellent.